Hi all, my name is Aaron Davis, and I'm a Cisco Systems Architect in the Denver, Colorado area. And today I would like to walk you through the steps to set up alerts to the WebEx app from the Meraki dashboard. So let's get started. So inside my Meraki dashboard, you can see that I have an environmental sensor. This one that I'm going to use for this demo is the Meraki MX20 IoT door sensor, and you can see this. Just the two pieces here when this is simulating that the door is open, and when these are back together again, simulating that the door is closed. So inside my Meraki dashboard, you can see that I have one online door sensor, and it is my MT20 door sensor. Right now it's showing that it's closed. We changed this the last 2 days, and I'm going to open it. You can see that just a few seconds the Meraki dashboard will update, and it'll show that the door is open, and just like that. And then when I close it again a couple of seconds later, it will show that it's closed. But I want to take this a step further, and every time the door status changes, I want it to send me a WebEx app message. In order to do that, we're going to use Zapier, and Zapier is kind of an automation tool that will create the glue between the Meraki dashboard and our WebEx app. And so we're going to create a new Zap. That's what they're called, and just our automation. I'm going to call this Zap. I'm going to call it WebEx. Actually, let me call it Meraki Alerts. And so inside this trigger section, what we're going to do is we're going to set up a webhook. And this webhook is going to send us, what we're going to use is called a catch hook, and this is going to post a message into our WebEx apps room. So let's click on catch hook. We'll click on continue, and what we're going to be really focused on knowing is what this webhook URL is. So I'm going to copy that. The rest of this we can just leave as default. So let's click on continue, and we can test the trigger. There's really not much to test yet, but because we haven't set it up on our Meraki dashboard. So now let's go over here back into our Meraki dashboard. Let's set up this webhook URL. It's found in alerts under network wide, and once this page loads, we'll go to the very bottom of this page, and we'll go to the section called webhooks, and we'll add an HTTP server. I'm going to call this one WebEx Alerts. I'm going to paste the URL from Zapier into here. We don't have a shared secret, so we don't need to worry about that. And now I can test the integration between the Meraki dashboard and Zapier. It's queued up the message. Here in just a second, we should go green and show that that integration's working, and it was delivered. So I'm going to click on save. And now that this is saved, let's go back to our Zapier app, and now if we click on a test trigger, we can see that we in fact do get some messages back, so we know that that's working. So let's click continue, and then we're going to want to set up our action. What is that action? Well, it's going to be to post the message to our WebEx app. So let's search for WebEx. We can see right here, here's our WebEx app. So we'll select that. We're going to have to select an action event. That action event is to post a message, and post a message in plain text will be just fine. So we'll select that, click on continue, and now we'll link Zapier with our WebEx app. So we'll click on this drop down box, and I'm going to select my WebEx app. I've already logged in, so it's not going to ask me to log back in again, but if you're doing this for the first time, you may be asked to log in to your WebEx app so that it can authenticate. Now we want to select the room that we want to send these messages to. You can click on search here to search for the room, or in this particular case, what I'm interested in is Meraki Alerts. So that's the room I want to send the messages to, so we'll select that. And now, what do we want to include in this message? If we click on this, we can see that there's a few options here. Here's just the top 4 or 5, but if we click on show options, we can see that there's quite a few. And there's some really good ones. What I like to see is, here I'll pick a few. So for instance, we'll do device name. That'll be a good one. So we'll click that. Maybe alert type. Let's try that. Alert type, that's a good one. So we'll do that. Serial number of the device, that would be a good one, so we know which one is having the problem. So device serial. How about device tags? If we have any tags set up on these devices, so that we know which particular tag is that device is associated with. How about alert ID? So we can search through our logs for the alert if we want to see that. It's a good one. Maybe even alert level. That's another good one, and we'll add one more, alert type ID. So, alert type ID, there it is. So that's a good start for us, so we can see some sample data. I'll include some tildes here just so we can separate the messages, and so that's great. So now we've kind of got the body of our message set up, and now we can go to the next step. We'll click on continue, and great, we can test that. Let's make sure that that integration is working, and it says that a message was created. So let's open up our WebEx app space, and let's see, yep, we in fact did get a test message sent to that. So now we know that the integration is working between Zapier and Meraki, and then we've also are actually between Zapier and WebEx, and then we've separately tested it between Meraki and Zapier. So we've got all that set up. So the only thing left to do right now is to turn on our Zap, and once that Zap is activated, we can go back into our Meraki dashboard, and we'll tell it what kind of alerts we want it to send to our WebEx. So let's go back over here to environmental and overview, and what we're going to want to do is set up an alert profile. Right now I don't have any alert profile set up at all, so I'm going to click on new environmental alert, and we'll call this environmentals, and we can set it up for either, let me make sure I spell it right. We can set up a alerting schedule for either always on, which is what we're going to do. We're just going to leave it for always on, or you can set up a scheduled routine. I don't have any of these sensors. The only one that I have right now is the door open sensor, so we're going to enable that, and we can set it up so that maybe we only want it to send an alert if the door has been open for 5 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever. But in this case, we'll have it send it as soon as it detects that the door status has changed. So notification recipients, we can set up an email address, an SMS, but in this particular case, I want to link this to my webhook. So if I click in this box, you can see that my WebEx Alerts webhook shows up. So I'll click on that, click on Save, and now we have the alert profile set up. Now we need to apply it to the sensor. So let's go back to Sensors, and here we can click on Add Alert Profiles. Click the alert profiles that we just set up, click on Save. It's now been applied. We'll close this box and we can see that it's right here. So now we have our environmental alert profile set up. So at this point, everything should be set up just the way that we expect for this to work. So let's go back into our WebEx app space, and let's give it a test. So here's my MT20 sensor. Let's open that sensor. Let's see if it sends us a message here in just a second or two. There it is. There's our message. Sensor change detected. And so now let's close the sensor, and let's make sure that it sends us another message that the sensor change has been detected. Take a second or two. And there it is. So we've successfully set up the integration between the Meraki dashboard, Zapier, and then Zapier to our WebEx, and now we can get some great alerts. So I hope this was useful for you. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, and I look forward to talking to you real soon.